Dankie dat jy ingeskakel is. Nou ek gesels met Axola Myendeki en Nadine Brokman van Astron Energy. En ons praat 'n bietjie oor die rol van eintlik maar die brandstofindustrie, hoe dit met landbou hande vat. Ons weet dit is 'n baie noue verhouding. Axola, tell me from Astron Energy, just briefly introduce yourself. Who are you guys?
Astron Energy is a Glencore Group company. We were established in South Africa in 2018 when we took over the Chevron business in South Africa, or the Caltex business as it's known. However, our existence in South Africa as a group goes back to 1911 when we brought in our first finished product cargoes or vessels into South Africa. Yeah.
And how do you position a company like Astron Energy in specifically the agricultural sector?
Well, I think agriculture and hydrocarbons are probably two of the topical things that move the country forward. South Africa and probably the world has a food shortage issue.
Absolutely.
And agriculture is an integral part of the future sustainability of our own country as well as the world in general. And South Africa does a lot of exports of agricultural products to different parts of the world. And how we support that as Astron Energy, one, we make sure that farmers who spend an inordinate amount of money into their equipment, we make sure that those equipment run efficiently from a hydrocarbon usage and from a lubricants perspective. We then make sure that the total cost of ownership is reduced. The equipment spends time in the field where it's supposed to, given the very short windows of opportunity that exist within the agricultural space. Yeah.
Nadine, I think when we look at farming and the need there is for something basic, almost like fuel. I'm sure you guys are aware of all of the challenges that that goes with being a farmer, fighting for food security. How do you guys approach that relationship with the farming community?
Yeah, so I think we focus on bespoke offers for our various segments. So we do have a bespoke offer for our agriculture segments as well. I think the quality of products that we offer has gone through a lot of OEM approvals. So the quality of our products is really, really high. And then further to that, we've also got technical support that we can offer to the farming community, where technical experts can look at the storage and handling of products and various other elements to support the farmer.
Lola, I think also we can the agricultural sector is one thing on its own, but in your industry specific, what are some of the main challenges? And you're welcome to elaborate. I mean, obviously, I'm sure you guys are aware. What are you facing in your industry?
Well, I think it's challenges and opportunities. So particularly in the space of agriculture, farmers usually operate on a principle of relationships and trust. And like agility, and now we have to be honest with ourselves and say we probably have a level of agility that goes to a certain point. Beyond that point, we then service our customers, in particular our farmers, through our distributors. In this region, we would service this region through our distributor Star Lubricants, and this distributor typically have closer relationships with the farmers and the customers in the region, and probably our challenges are our customers' challenges. So they help by feeding back in terms of what challenges are they facing, how do we make things easier for them. Yeah.
I'm interested in that process of making things easier, because I've heard a lot this past few weeks, and so the farmer comes first, working closer with the farmer. At the end of the day, we're all here to make their arms stronger. I can't produce food. So how do you approach that process to make the relationship stronger to address the farmers' challenges?
I think in the farming space, operational discipline and efficiency is quite key. So how we help farmers is that the distributors that we support who service them, we extend working capital support in the form of credit terms. Because you can imagine from the time that a farmer buys if they grow crop, they buy their plants, they plant, they harvest. During that period, the farmer is not getting any income.
Yes.
And so the credit, our credit facilities does help give the farmer a bit of working capital breathing space. And then secondly, we then support the farmers in the way of pricing, because they compete in a global competitive market for their produce. So if the cost of goods sale is contained and is competitive, they're able to operate and run their operations profitably. And then lastly is probably, again, the quality of our products. As Nadine mentioned, we have OEM approvals because we want to ensure, we work closely with OEMs to make sure that the quality of the oils that we put in the farmers' implements enhance their equipment as opposed to do the opposite. And so that's how we think we're supporting those main three areas. And are always at the front foot of research and development in terms of cleaner and efficient fuels as well as lubrication and oils.
Yes. Nadine, tell me, I also want to hear from your side. Obviously, just as the agricultural sector has its challenges, I'm very aware that your industry also has challenges. And it's interesting to work hand in hand with farmers. And I'm sure when it comes to fuel and, well, it's such an integral part of farming. What is the approach to try and give a better offer? And I'm just asking out of curiosity because the industry is so big. So how does that approach work?
So I think for me, it's very much understanding what the customer needs are. So if we have a good understanding of the challenges that our customers are facing in the market, we can go back and we can actually look at a solution that can service that specific issue and address that issue to make it better. So we do believe working closely with the end users of our products and to understand their landscape can help us to deliver a better service and a better offer, and also reduce the strain on them that those challenges might have. So that's definitely one of the biggest approaches that we do take to face the challenges in the agriculture industry. Yeah.
It's very needed, and we spoke earlier about, you know, research that's taking place to improve a product. And just as, you know, your product is unique, how intensely is that process of, you know, trying to improve, trying to get other ways to make it easier? Do you feel strong about research and development?
Yeah, so the theme for our year is unlock new ways. So we do not want to do the same thing over and over and then try and expect a different result.
No, you can't.
So the intent is to look at how can we do this differently? How can we do this better?
Yes.
So we very much focus internally on that, and hopefully that can elevate us and the industry as well.
Axola, I think when we look at the bigger agricultural sector, can you guys pick up on certain tendencies? You know, tendencies that make you know, people ask for your product more. What are those factors that plays a role on the tendencies of, you know, the consumer or the farmer?
I think it's one, closeness to customers, and that's why in particularly the agricultural sector, we interface through it mostly in an indirect way, because this enable like I mentioned, our distributors have more intimate relationships with the farmers. That's one. The other one that farmers don't compromise on quality.
Absolutely.
And so they'll call you, our product, both on the lubricant side as well on the fuel side, we pride ourselves for quality and after-sales support in terms of how we support the distributors that support them, and work closely with some of the OEM of the plant and equipments that they use. And so I think that the closeness to the customer, quality of product, and working closely with the other value chain players within the agricultural sector, I think helps or keeps customers opting for us. Yeah.
A very curious question, and it's just because I have you here in front of me.
Yeah.
Do you guys ever get blamed for high fuel prices? Like, let's say at a family gathering.
Yeah.
Do you get that interaction? Because I know not everybody understands why the reasons are why it's up, why it's down.
Yeah.
How do you deal with that?
Yeah, do we get blamed?
This is your platform, tell us.
Yeah, I think we do. Unfortunately, or fortunately or unfortunately, but the space we operate in is quite regulated.
Yes.
And so I think what we then do when we get to those dinner table chats is probably walk the people through how the process works and how the regulation works and how the price build-up works. And
and just to break it down, because we've got the opportunity now, what are the factors that plays a role?
Yeah.
It's not you pushing up the prices.
Yeah, well, I think the first one around diesel, right, is that our pricing is based a month in arrears. So we're a month behind international markets, where some countries the price changes on a daily basis. That's the first. I
didn't know that. That's very interesting.
So, and then the other three main components that go into it is around the price of Brent crude. Again, that's out of South Africa's control in a number of ways. We don't have crude wells or upstream activities in our country. Those typically happen in the west belt of the continent, as well as the Middle East. And so Brent crude, as well as the price exchange or between the currency, that is the dollar and the rand, that plays a big role. And then you have an element of geopolitics that comes into play.
Absolutely.
So with what's happening in the Middle East, you have certain shipping lines, or basically where ships would usually bring product, whether it's crude or finished product, into our shores. And those all affect the price, and those are probably the three main components that contribute to the price.
So it's completely not in your hands. It's completely
100%.
I just need to stress that. Thank you for coming in. I really appreciate it. Thank you for just your contribution to the agricultural sector.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Mia.